The July 4th deals. Let's try and predict them. Or, actually, to give its proper name, it's not the July 4th deals. It's the Sinister Sentinel Sideshow deals. It's Fun in the Sun 2024. It's July 4th deals. Whatever you want to call it, it is deals that are coming next week, next Friday. So let's try and predict them. Of course, we'll be covering those stuff next week. We're going to do value, best top tips, advice, stuff like that. The usual shebang that we do when we cover this stuff, and kind of look at guiding people and giving information as to what is the best stuff to go and grab from these deals. The information that we've got on them is that they are going to be very similar to last year. We'll have a look at what last year looked like. We'll also look at July 4th deals because they do form a basis of, well, what we're likely to see. One thing that Crash did say, Kabam Crash, said that we would be seeing deals on the same level as Necropolis. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean everybody gets that, but it's highly likely Valiant players will. And I think this will be the first time we'll see the split away. So before, we used to have deals that were Paragon and Valiant together. I think we're going to see a separation from those different types of progressions. And I think that's just based on the fact of Kabam want to encourage you to spend, but Kabam also want to encourage you to do content. And also we've probably seen a lot more Valiant players since the release of certain bits of content and reward structures, Act 8.4 and the culmination of the act in general. So I think that this is where they're going to go. Separation. Not together. Valiant, Paragon. And that's where we're going to start the basis of predicting this stuff. Something really interesting is Kabam will be doing a cash-based deal system that will allow for a new format that will highly likely be an opportunity for you to go up a progression. So that's something to bear in mind. Because I don't know what those deals are, I won't be trying to predict those, but because they will be about elevating your account to different progressions, that's probably where you'll see that going with. Similar to the Underground event back in Cyber Weekend 2023, you will receive a, back then, free 6-star Baron Zemo. This time around, free 6-star Mr. Sinister. There'll also be a 7-star Weapon X at the point of spending a load of units. So that, again, is an option available to you. And of course, last year when it came to the Underground market, the structure of that one looked a bit like this. And this is the most recent type of deals. This is where you get the idea of going, okay, well, how are things going to go into these new ones? And this is where I've done a spreadsheet. I'll put a link to it in the description. I was thinking that maybe I wouldn't do, but I will. I'll pop it over in the description, and we'll kind of talk about it at reference. So, on the screen right now, you can see Fun in the Sun. This was last year's event that had Tier 1, Tier 2, Tier 3, and Tier 4. Kabam have said that this is going to have a different structure. This is going to do, as they said, it's going to have 8 tiers. So, Tier 4 offer is different than Tier 8 offer. So, there you go. There's going to be different structures. Is it going to be exactly? No. Kabam said it was going to be familiar to this one right here, this Fun in the Sun of last year. And of course, what difference a year makes with Cyber Weekend and as well Fun in the Sun as to the general structure of the rewards. We've definitely seen it with rewards in general and deals in general, and also what Kabam have depreciated. One thing that I do say a lot of the time and every year is depreciation. Something that always starts off as being very expensive unit-wise, whether or not you're spending or non-spending, it will depreciate over the year. So by the time we get to Cyber Weekend deals, you'll see like you can get a ton more Tier 3 Alpha and Tier 6 Basic than you did at the start of the year. If it was about, I don't know, 100 units per Tier 6 Basic, it's probably worth about 50 units by Cyber Weekend deals, even less if we've got something like a new progression. And that's how the game works, and that's how a lot of kind of things work in general with it. You drive a car off of the driving lot, the car lot. That's very American of me to say car lot. And it already is depreciated in value because it's not fresh. It's not right off there. The same thing with anyway. I think you get the idea of depreciation. Whatever. Look, let's jump into predictions, and I'm going to start with Paragon Predictions. because I feel these will be sandwiched in a way that's, I'm not going to say you're going to be disappointed, but if you are a player that got Paragon and Valiant deals, Paragon/Valiant deals from Cyber Weekend deals 2023, I guarantee you'll be disappointed with what you're going to see from the July 4th deals. Mainly because, and as I said, I reckon Kabam are going to separate out the types of deals available to you. They may do it to make it simpler, but I think they'll separate it out because it'll feel weird for Valiant players with the end of Act 8.4, with a lot more people being Valiant now as chase resources. I think they're going to split that off, and this is why you're going to see things like, I don't think you're going to see 7-star signature stones in Paragon deals. I don't think you're going to see 7-star nexuses, except for right at the very end, you have to spend a lot of units. I do think, however, it is going to be more similar to the last year's deals, Fun in the Sun, but also it will come a little bit with Cyber Weekend. And as I said, like, one of the big things with these deals here, the underground deals, is you're sandwiched in Paragon and Valiant players together for these tiers of deals. And yes, you get nice stuff like Titan Crystal Shards, but I just don't think Kabam are going to give out a high volume of Titan Crystal Shards to players. I also do not think you'll get 7-star selectors. I think that you will get 6-star selectors. That's just how I think Kabam are going to go with it. I want to be disappointed. Not disappointed. I want to be proven wrong. I do. I want to be proven wrong that Kabam are going to give out more to players. But you've got to look at realistically what's happened in the past. Kabam have never given out like a huge amount of stuff without having to go, you got to be the top progression for it. We had it when Cavaliers became Thronebreakers, and we had it when Thronebreakers became Paragon players. Those shifting deals were a shifting pattern of reward metas and cash metas, as in CACHE metas, but also CASH metas with those offers. From a spending perspective, you may get more opportunity. But from the cash, the unit deals, I think that you'll get what Kabam deemed the progression. I do think you'll get tier 4 alpha. I think you'll probably get about half in the unit deals. The other half will probably be behind spending deals, similar to how it was Cyber Weekend. Because again, I don't think Kabam are going to give you a lot of Paragon players opportunity to get up to Valiant without having to spend a bit. But again, we love to be kind of like proven wrong here. Titan Crystals, I don't think you're going to see a high amount of them for Paragon players. I think you'll see some, but you won't see a lot. And the same thing with Tier 3 Alpha and Tier 6 Basic, because devaluation with that, you can get a lot of them in Glory Store. You'd probably be best off getting, those. Now, I've not separated this out to tiers like the other deals are. Like, I haven't separated out so it looks like that. Mainly because I don't know how they're going to form. But I do know that what has happened in the last year, to give a little bit of a prediction, to go, you're probably going to see 200 Primal Dust, Tier 2 Dust. So, yeah. 6-star selectors, not 7-star selectors. Rank up gems. I think there will be a 7-star rank 3 gem crystal randomized. I think there's a good opportunity to see that. Yeah, as I said, 7-star signature stones, no. Gold, I think you're definitely going to see a large amount of gold. They have to, because it costs a lot nowadays to rank stuff up. And finally, similar to the Fun in the Sun deals last year, I think you'll see a lower volume of 7-star shards, more towards the end. Like, you'll get the 15k more than likely. You'll get a good amount of stuff the more units you spend. And maybe Paragon crystals, I don't know if they'll do this. They did it last year, but if they did, they may put some there. They could even do, look, this could be a very real thing, they could do Magnetron crystals, because that could be a way in to grab not just, more opportunity for duping stuff, but obviously opportunity to get a 7-star, get the points for 7-star version of Captain Marvel movie. Maybe. But they're too wrapped up in the daily deal, so I don't think you'll see that. From a Valiant perspective, so Kabam said that this will be on the same level of Necropolis. I will say that That means 7-star Crystal Selector or 7-star Selector in general on Necropolis level is highly likely. We'll have to just grab the rewards and have a quick look at them. But Valiant Crystals, if they do the Paragon Crystals for Paragon like they did last year with Fun in the Sun, then it's highly likely we'll see Valiant Crystals in some of the deals at the lower end. But again, I don't think they will. 7-star Nexuses are highly likely as well. They are in the daily crystals as a rare item to get. And I'm sure they are, and we've had selectors in the past. So again, it's highly likely we'll see a 7-star Nexus. I do think we'll see a lot more tier 6 class catalyst selectors, and especially at the lower end of the unit deal offers. You know, similar to the 750 units. I think you'll probably see like a good chunk in there. It could be 750. There's 8 tiers apparently, but how are those 8 tiers built up? I do not know, especially because the last one was based on 4 tiers. So yes, I don't know what that's gonna mean. I do think there's gonna be an increased amount of tier 4 alpha, maybe 2 or 3. 7-star rank 3 gems and 1 and 2 and 2 and 3 gems I think will be in there, but they will be in a lower area of purchase as opposed to Paragon, which is a higher area, which again makes perfect sense based on you know, how things have been with it. Gold. There must be an increased amount of gold becoming available, because this is one of the most ridiculous things about MCOC at the moment is the gold acquisition side of things. Like, yes, there's a lot more gold in certain areas. You just have to look for it. But things cost a lot more nowadays, gold-wise, to level up, to rank up, and level and rank up relics, which I do think will feature in this, but I haven't really thought about how and where. Like, whether or not there'll be something there for relics, maybe there won't. And especially if we're looking at, and as Kabam said, it's going to be like this, where it's going to be more about rewards on a Necropolis level. That does imply some of the stuff we've mentioned, but also would say it goes far as to say 6-star relics in some capacity, fully formed. And yeah, Titan Crystal Shards, I think there's going to be a higher amount available, which again makes sense. Stuff like Titan Crystal has it's slightly depreciated in value. I'm not saying like value, it's great value, but not great value, but it's great champions in it to grab, because the new champions are fantastic. They're kind of the featured 6-star, but featured 7-star type crystal. But the volume of 7-star, 7-star Titan Crystal Shards have been given out more frequently to players and in higher volume. You know, they've given compensation out for 10k. That doesn't sound like Kabam to do that regularly or a thing, so that's good. And yeah, the other thing, Dust, Primordial Dust, that's a given. I think there's going to be 400 for Valiant as opposed to 200. But to be honest, Valiant players focusing on 6 stars, yeah, okay, it's still a thing, especially for like Battlegrounds and, you know, certain counters and stuff like that. And yes, rank up gem crystals could be possible at lower end. Are we flooding the game with more rank 3 7-stars? Maybe. But I think a lot of the premium stuff will be like 7-star rank up gems, 7-star selectors. Could be things that Kabam look to take into after you've spent 18,000 units, or they've put behind paywalls, and those will be in the web store. I'll be really interested to see what Kabam are putting out in those, because I think there will be spicy things in there. But will they be things like 7-star signature stones? I think it's highly likely they will. But does that, and that's a question for the comments, do you think it fits into the cadence of what Kabam said, where they said that the level of meta of the items you can purchase will be on the level of Necropolis. And Necropolis, of course, had things like some of these items right here. We had rank up gems 2 to 3, we had 1 to 2 7-star, and of course we had, you know, launch pool selectors. So will it be similar, different, or on the same level? Of course, do bear in mind, the more units you spend, the more you'll get that Weapon X as a 7-star. A lot of people will be chasing that. But what else will be in that solo event as well? And will it actually feel like you need to spend so many units, because you'll be getting some good stuff at the same time? Anyway, those have been my predictions for Valiant and Paragon. I haven't done everybody, and that's mainly because I feel we're in a bit of a grey area with Thronebreaker and Cavalier. But that's something, you know, next week we'll kind of have a look at what's actually been released and do some guides and spreadsheets and coverage of it. So that's been a video. Thank you very much for watching. Have a lovely day, whatever you're doing. I'm back to sort out this house do the MCN and sort out my old house. Anyway, thanks for watching, and bye-bye, everybody. Cheers. Bye.